Okay, testing. This thing on? I really hope so. So, welcome everybody. This is going to be my little attempt to review Ahsoka on Disney Plus. I'll let everybody know when spoilers happen. I just got finished watching the first two episodes, and I'm not. I'll be honest with you. I'm not sure how I feel exactly. Little history. I did not watch Rebels. I did not watch the Clone Wars. I do not entirely know who Ahsoka is, so I'm going into this series with fresh, super normie eyes. So there are some things I can't judge it on. Obviously, the history of Ahsoka and Sabine and the other characters, I'm not familiar with them, so I can only talk about what I see on the screen. Now, there are definitely pluses and minuses. Obviously, if you enjoyed Rebels, if you're a fan of Rebels, you're probably going to enjoy the show. But maybe not. I don't know. Is it possible to have one scene, one particular scene, infuriates you so much to the point that it turns you off from the entire series? I'll get into that when I start talking about spoilers. Things based. Let's just get into it. The fight scenes were absolutely garbage. I'm sorry. The choreography was horrible, to say the least. It just was. Multiple times, the slow fights, not slow, it was just, they were poorly executed fight scenes. The fight scene in the first episode on whatever the planet was, it was a temple created by, what was it? The sisters, the witches of Dathomir. Hey, spoiler alert. This is a spoiler review for Ahsoka, okay? That's going to be in the title. If you want spoilers, you're gonna click on this video. So thank you very much for all your support. The opening crawl annoyed me. It was all in red letters, and it just went from the top. It wasn't like the classic Star Wars crawl, which was a little upsetting. They had an opportunity to do something with that. The scenes, it was so many times, so often throughout both episodes, it didn't feel like the characters were actually where they were. Not a lot of, well, it was a mix of practical sets and overdoing, obviously, on either green screen or the volume or whatever you want to call it. My good, just over and over again. Quite a few things. Is Ahsoka a Jedi Knight? Is she an actual Jedi, or was she still just a Padawan? Someone let me know in the comments, because from what I understand, everything I've heard for other people who have watched Rebels, who have watched the Clone Wars, she didn't achieve the status. She left Anakin before she attained that position. So how can she have a Padawan at all? Or maybe just, hey, screw it, we're just going to go against the Jedi Order, and we're going to do whatever we want to. That's not unseen. It's not unfamiliar when it comes to the Star Wars universe. Train whoever you want to. Qui-Gon did it. Obi-Wan did it, so why not? The map. I have an issue with this map. In the show, in the episode, Ahsoka Tano shows up to the Witches of Dathomir temple to find a map. This map is the key to finding Grand Admiral Thrawn, which is what this whole series is about. If you don't know that already, well, I'm sorry, you have definitely not been paying attention. Even I knew that. So, I'm going to stop tapping the microphone now. Why is this... The contrivance, the convenience, no, convenience isn't the word. The things that happen in both of these episodes simply to push the plot along. Obviously, you need that in a TV show. You need something to push the plot along, because otherwise people are just going to lose interest in one way, shape, or form. Sorry, I'm going to adjust this lovely little picture right here. There we go. It took me 5 minutes to do that. It can, when it's overdone, and I do believe it was overdone to an extent, it can take you out of the story. It can take you out of so many things. It has to be, I don't know, handled with care. This map was for some reason hidden. Why was there a map at all? To find someone who was banished, someone who the good guys and the bad guys are trying to find, who they assume is dead, tell them to find out he is not dead. Why does this map even exist at all, other than to push the plot along? That's poor writing, in my opinion. Balin Skoll. We're going to move on to another character. Ray Stevens' character. I thoroughly enjoyed his character. I thought he was, I don't know, foreboding, mysterious, not sure. He's a mercenary. He's a Jedi mercenary. And, of course, just like, I guess, half the population of Jedi survived Order 66. Entirely too many Jedi have survived Order 66. But, hey, what do I know? Ahsoka finds the room with pillars that look like they're from the Fifth Element. More designs that are stolen from the Fifth Element. Whatever. Turning the pillars, it's like some sort of ceremony to enact that was based on the look of Ahsoka's face, was supposed to be some sort of big deal, but was just kind of fell flat for me. Found the map, looked like a Hellraiser ball. But the first fight with assassin droids was lackluster, to say the least. All the fights in both episodes, I believe there were 3 or 4, maybe 3 fights, 4 fights. The choreography was bad. There's nothing else to say. It was slow. It was predictable, because obviously there's no stakes in this. You know Ahsoka's going to live for a certain amount of time, if not the entire series. So I don't know. There was no sense of danger. The other issue I had is when she defeated the assassin droids, they had a self-destruct sequence that took entirely too long. If you have a self-destruction sequence on a droid, you pretty much want that to go off quick, fast, and in a hurry. But no, it gave Ahsoka plenty, and I mean plenty of time to get out of Dodge. Sure. Another issue I had, Hera. General Hera. Never, not one scene, does she take her helmet off. It's on the entire time. I'm sorry, that doesn't make sense. Is she a general? Is she just a space jockey? What's going on with her character? I guess that just more explanation, I'm sure, from the Rebel show, but the idea she constantly has her helmet on. Unfortunate. But, dedication ceremony with Clancy Brown, kind of cool, but Sabine's not there, even though she's supposed to be. Apparently she is a hot-headed, doesn't like to follow the rules. Mandalorian escapes down a long-for-nothing road just for another scene to show her going underneath a ship that's supposed to be blocking her off and stopping her or whatever. So many things that happened aggravated me. So, Ahsoka was convinced that, by, what's her name? I have all this stuff written down. Convinced by Hera to go find Sabine. Ahsoka is a little hesitant in that, but hey, got to move the plot along, got to get the characters together. So, Ahsoka goes and meets Sabine, talks to her about the map, says they're going to use it to find Ezra because he might not be dead. Sure, cool. Doesn't tell her anything else about the map. Anything else about what the map is going to lead to, which is probably just a little problem. Sabine recommends taking the map somewhere else so she can clear her head, because obviously she's very uncomfortable around Ahsoka. Ahsoka says no, the map stays here for reasons. Ahsoka goes in another room, comes back out, and of course Sabine leaves with the map and doesn't go after. Understands the importance of the map, but doesn't go after Sabine to get the map back. Why is that? Well, because plot needs it to happen. And now we're getting to the point where this particular scene, this fight scene, is so infuriating. It's sad. Death means absolutely nothing in the Star Wars universe, to the point, and I don't care if it was George Lucas or Disney, I don't care who was in charge when this happened. Death means nothing except for Qui-Gon. Lightsaber to the gut, to the torso, whether it's the chest, the lung, the spine, the gut, cutting someone in half above the waist has become absolutely meaningless in the Star Wars universe. And this is something quite infuriating, because you take suspicion of death and you take all meaning, everything away from it. You take a powerful scene and it becomes nonsensical, because who cares? A lightsaber is a nonsensical weapon that is no more than a stick to beat someone over the head with, because it doesn't kill anymore. In episode 1, you had lightsabers that could cut through a blast door. It killed Qui-Gon because the lightsaber used to cauterize, used to be able to cut through steel, through metal, through blast doors. But now, oh well, whether it's Reva, whether it's fucking Darth Maul, and now whether or not it is Sabine, a lightsaber to the torso does nothing. As a matter of fact, the second fight scene in this episode with Sabine, an unfortunate, unpracticed, unlearned, unskilled Padawan, gets summarily her ass kicked, sort of, because again, the choreography was garbage. Gets a lightsaber through the torso. And next episode, overnight stay in the hospital, whatever. Sure, you want to tell me technology, but how did they fix her lung, her internal organs that were cauterized, supposedly, by a lightsaber? It's meaningless, and it's frustrating. The rest of the episode, of episode 2, we move on to episode 2, where Sabine is in the hospital and recovering just fine. They use some of her skills to figure out one of the robots, because all the information on the map that she decoded took her hours to decode. But staring at the map, staring at the hologram, the room, the projection of the room and the ball, and it took her all night of staring at the map until looking at it from a different angle, perhaps? I don't know. I'm still irritated by the lightsaber through the gut, through the chest, through the torso, through her lung. Doesn't kill people anymore. I don't need excuses. They've taken the strength of the lightsaber away over and over and over again. Made deaths meaningless. And I'm repeating myself. Let's get back to this. Oh, brother. They managed to find one of the droids that was left over at Sabine's place, decode his brain to figure out where he came from. He comes from Corellia, so they take off to Corellia. Corellia is the, I guess, the decommissioning of Star Destroyers to use their technology to power the rebellion, to power the New Republic, or whatever it is they called it. And, of course, there are Empire sympathizers on staff because, you know, according to the guy in charge there, you can't build a rebellion without people. And the people there are beholden to money. They respect money. That's where their loyalties lie, to the paycheck. Unfortunately, that's not the case, because one of the droids in the office reveals that the assassin droid, or a possible assassin droid that Ahsoka and Hera are looking for, oh, I just happened to see one. The droid in the office where they were talking, again, more contrivance to push the plot along. The droid in the office happened to run into the assassin droid working for the big bad guys. Stopped the droid from doing something. So naturally, and it's on the transport that's leaving the dock at the moment. Ahsoka jumps out after taking care of some Empire sympathizers, kills them quite easily, jumps out the window, lands on the ground, and goes after the other mercenaries, one with a lightsaber. And here's where we have even more nonsensical choreography. A spin jump thing that Ahsoka does that was just, what was the purpose of this? I wonder if they're just trying to look cool, which is, I don't know, a lack of a fast pace. I think back to the fight scene between Darth Maul, Obi-Wan, and Qui-Gon, and there was quite a bit of spectacle There's no denying the spectacle that was in that fight scene at the end of episode 1. But it was more fast-paced. The pacing of the fight can get you to overlook, because it looks really cool. It can get you to overlook the nonsensical movements, the overdone movements, the flourish, all that. The fight scenes in these 2 episodes, they lacked that flourish, that speed, that dexterity. They were slow, entirely too slow, which brought out the mistakes. It's the word I'm looking for. I don't know. Brought out the mistakes. It made them more noticeable, which can be a problem with people watching the show. If you're looking at it with a critical eye, for sure. I wasn't really looking at it with a critical eye. I try to go into these shows with an open mind, especially since I don't know a lot about Ahsoka. So I've been just watching it to watch it. Same thing with Andor, and I absolutely loved Andor. I didn't know anything. I actually have never seen Rogue One, so going in it, not knowing who Andor is, not knowing where his character comes from, and I thoroughly enjoyed the pacing. These 2 episodes, that is something sorely lacking. Pacing is terrible in these two episodes. A lot of, let's see, lots of talking, lots of, what is the word I'm looking for? This is the problem with not using a script. I even wrote it down, too. One of the main problems with these 2 episodes is that heroes, who are supposed to be smart, intelligent, cunning, planning ahead, were absolutely stupid in some of their actions. Ahsoka not telling Sabine all the information that was necessary to get her to understand why it was so important to keep the map where it was with Ahsoka's ship. And then Sabine not caring what Ahsoka wanted, not following any sort of instructions or, I don't know, recommendations, I guess, to keep the map on the ship. She just fucked off with it. I'm going to remember the word I'm looking for. By the time the end of the show comes along, they travel from one planet to another. The bad guys get the map and they travel to another planet. And here's another rather questionable thing. When it comes to the map, Sabine was able to open up the map and activate it, essentially, with the press of a button. Turning a couple of things in the press of a button, and it activated everything. Now, unfortunately, when the bad guys got it, when Baylan got it back to the witch on another planet, put it on a little pedestal, she was able to activate it with her magic. Why? What was the purpose of that? Why did they feel it necessary to just... Sabine activates it with the push of a button. She has no magic. She has no abilities like that. But no, the Dathomir, the sister from Dathomir, the witch from Dathomir, whatever she's going to be, she activates it with spells and magic and mysticism. Overdone, perhaps for member berries. I don't know. When you show the map being activated by the click, 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 whatever, why not just keep doing that? Why do you have to change it? For spectacle? For member berries? Who knows? But it points to the direction of where they can find Grand Admiral Thrawn, and that's the whole purpose. There's a few things. The one... I did like Ray Stevenson's character, Baylan Skoll. He does have me interested what's going to happen to his character and all that. Droid tracking device. I have no familiarity with Hera's droid. Why does he have arms? Why does that make sense? Why? Again, probably goes back more information from the Rebel series, from the Clone War series. People might like that, and that's fine. To me, it was silly. Again, but that's fine too. Throws the tracking device, that was dumb. Especially since the ship, well, I guess the ship was able to catch up with the transport because it was about to jump into hyperspace. Although, why did the transport have to slow down before going into hyperspace? I believe the Millennium Falcon was able to go into hyperspace without slowing down. It just, that's, I don't know. Was it, or am I missing something? Did I forget something? All in all, like I said at the beginning, I'm not sure. I'm not entirely 100% sure. And by the way, if you made it this far, 20 minutes, thank you so much. I do appreciate it. Leave a like, leave a comment. Hit me with that little subscribe button. I do appreciate it. I'll be talking about Ahsoka. Who knows? It might get better. The pacing might improve. But all in all, final verdict, I genuinely don't know. I don't want to allow one scene, my absolute... It's come across in other live streams, but the idea of a lightsaber going through someone's torso, it doesn't kill them. That... For lack of a better term, that pisses me off because you are making a lightsaber almost insignificant to anyone other than a droid. Quite a few droids were chopped to pieces with lightsabers, but when it comes to a regular humanoid, no, the Grand Inquisitor, nope, he gets to live. Reva, she got 2 lightsabers to the gut, once as a little Padawan. As a child after Order 66, that, again, all these Jedi are surviving Order 66, which means the Emperor and Darth Vader, in their quest to hunt down and kill all the Jedi to get rid of their order, once and for all, was a complete and total failure. Although, the original trilogy made you feel otherwise. Led you to believe that Darth Vader hunted down and killed all of the Jedi, which is why they were in hiding. You only had Yoda, Obi-Wan. That's all that was left as far as the Jedi Order went. But now Disney retconning one thing after another after another. And I'm sorry. You can be a fan all you want to. If you like watching this stuff, that's perfectly fine. But for me, one retcon after another is ridiculous. It's disrespectful to the stories that came before. There are so many ways that things could be handled without disrespecting the prequel trilogy, the original trilogy, and the books that came before. You don't have to be so disrespectful. You don't have to retcon one thing after another after another. And that's another thing. Ahsoka should be dead. A powerful fight between her and Vader that happened in, I believe it happened in Rebels or Clone Wars. I'm going to have to go back and watch it one of these days. Bringing her back for fan service after clearly she died. But no, let's go through some time travel, the world between worlds, whatever it's called. Because you want to... Maybe it's because Dave Filoni just loves the character and wanted to do more with it. Sure. Okay. But again, it makes things... It trivializes powerful scenes that came before it. All in all, again, I don't want to allow one scene to irritate me to the point where I'm not going to watch the rest of it, because I will be talking about it. I will be watching the rest of the scenes, because overall, the story has me interested. I'd like to see where it goes. Perhaps, maybe. I do not expect the choreography to get any better, because if these 2 episodes are an indication, that's not happening. Maybe the characters will act a little bit smarter and start working together and being more open about what the hell they're doing. It remains to be seen. But one thing I've heard, if you like Rebels, you'll love Ahsoka. I'm still up in the air about it. It was slow. The pacing was poor. Borderline boring. Borderline, very close to just being boring. Is this over? Be the judge for yourself. If you have Disney Plus, go check it out. Sure, go do that. Pass your own judgment. For me, it was okay at best, mid at best. I'll be interested to see where the story goes. But that being said, no, the pacing was poorly paced. But That's it. I'm not going to say pacing again, except that same pacing again. Anyway, thank you for joining me. Leave a like, leave a dislike. I appreciate you making it this far. Let me know what you think in the comments. Did you watch it? Are you going to watch more of it? Let me know. Have a good one.